Is Elfi up to the challenge? It would be just like him to come back at this stage, but we'll see.
Well, everybody's going to be getting drunk if Elfi wins this game.
Including Elfi, I would imagine.
Everyone's like, yeah. Elfi including.
Definitely, yeah. Elfi goes like directly to the sauna. Do not pass go. Do not collect 200 euros. All right, folks. Having come back from a fairly disastrous first game against the Korean Terran, no less, ladies and gentlemen, in the red trunks playing Protoss to the southwest, give it up for Team Ace's Elfi! And his opponent, incredibly dangerous and looking really strong this series, but he was stopped in game 2, eventually. Here's from Team Slayers in the blue trunks, playing Terran to the northeast, it is Taeja!
And just looking at Group E, which contains Satini, he's currently 0-2, looking like he's out, but if Elfi was to win this game and then to continue with his group against Adele, Scott, and Jinro, he could definitely look to advance through there alongside Welmy, representing Finland twice in the double, the bracket tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we'll see, man. Taeja, it looks like he's going to be going for, I was going to say, is he going for a command center first here? No. That would be crazy, but he's going for his barracks down, and Elfi, upon seeing that, wants to see if the gas has been down. I wouldn't be surprised if Elfi did go just for a very fast gateway expansion on this map, especially if he doesn't see the gas, because there's no aggression can come, man. You got to go for that fast expansion.
Yeah.
You need the money. You need the money.
First
Everybody needs money.
The money, then you get the power, then you get the women.
Then you get the women last. Once you got the money, then the power.
And then you can buy all the cats you want.
Yeah. I wonder if Elfi is a cat owner.
It probably is.
It probably is. I'm
just the kind of guy that likes virtual cats.
like, does Elfi like alcohol? I guess the same question.
He's Finnish. What a stupid question.
All right, so it looks like a gasless expansion here from Taeja. And Elfi so far has scouted it and will be able to go in and double check. And then he himself can go for a relatively early expansion unless we're going to see some Elfi tactics come in. Which could also happen, could work.
Will there be 2 base Colossus? That's usually Elfi tactics. You never know. It's very effective. I mean, it comes down to when the Colossus actually come out versus what your opponent's gotten. Elfi does tend to keep a close eye on his opponent.
And Elfi actually, if in that last game, if he had stopped working in the background on the 3rd base, on his extra gateways, the forges, he could have lost that game.
Oh yeah, his macro is fantastic.
No doubt about it, but he stayed strong, he continued to secure the win. And let's have a look what he's going to do this time. He has a decent amount of energy saved up on the Chrono Boost. He's going to get that Stalker out. And then from here on out, once the SCV is gone, that's when we're going to see what Elfi does. Does he slap down the second gas immediately? Does he throw down that expansion, which it should be here?
Yeah, and Taeja getting out of there with a little bit of mineral larceny. Why not? You know, 5 minerals, you might as well get rid of it. That's a little bit of a bonus for you. But he's going to go up into the corner. We'll see, and Elfi actually didn't see that. So that is a good amount of information for Taeja as soon as he moves down there, assuming the Stalker doesn't move up. And in the meantime, we've got a bunker coming down for Taeja, playing it nice and safe after getting a nasty surprise in game 2.
And the Stalker does see the SCV, but okay, he does turn around. He did see the SCV, and the SCV gets the scout, so it's done its job. But Elfi, maybe he didn't see it. He definitely saw it, but maybe he wasn't looking at the minimap or the screen area. So the SCV goes in, sees the second gas taken, instead of double gateway come down here. So he's already gonna pretty big read here on Elfi, that Elfi could be taking up pretty fast after this Nexus. On the other hand, Taeja, very super standard builds, with the double barrack straight away after, then double refinery.
Yeah, the standard SCV pylon assault right there, which sadly doesn't work out too well. Did he see that gateway going? I assume he actually, that was put down right at that time. It's just a little bit of information that I don't think was necessary to give away. In the meantime, Stalker.
Stalker just checking out that expansion and checking the marine count and so on. And there is the robotics facility thrown down here. So he is teching up, but the kind of bad thing here for Elfi is it was kind of scouted that he was teching up fast. So I'm sure that instead of an engineering bay coming down super early, the safer option here for Taeja would be slap the factory down shortly, and then just start that medevac production, then straight into Vikings, because he doesn't want to get caught off guard, just like in that previous game.
No, that would be absolutely disastrous for him, and to hand that down to him would be very unfortunate. I mean, the rest of his group is certainly no slouch. Elfi working on the 2 bases right there. Both these guys pretty equal at the moment. Taeja slightly due to mules to clean out a supply depot, just get it out of the way. And funnily enough, he's going engineering bay, which could, as you mentioned, be a bit of a problem.
It could be indeed, because the double gas has been thrown down here by Elfi, and he's going to go straight up. I feel he's going to throw it on the robotics bay. There it is. He's going straight for a Colossus push, whether it'll be a 2-base push, which Elfi made his name around, really, in this matchup with his 2-base push. But he has worked on his fundamentals in the background, so we'll see if he does do that. But because of the early engineering bay, 100 gas has to be sank into the... Oh, he hasn't done that, actually. Let me have a look what he scouted. No, so he hasn't sank an early upgrade. He's just got it, and he went for the factory first rather than the upgrade. So actually, it's not that bad, because I thought he would have gone +1 first. But he does grab the factory and the 3rd gas, so it shouldn't be too bad here for Taeja. And he hasn't scouted anything yet, but he could easily scan the main base and pick up full information.
Yeah, he could. And I have to say that Elfi's not the kind of person to hide his buildings, and it's not a bad idea, because if you've got all of your key tech structures in one place, it makes it much easier to defend. It makes you much more resilient against drops. Taeja still doesn't know about that Colossus just yet, so we shall find out what comes from him. Marines and Marauders coming out there, they're right there, straight into the starport, reactor going down. So even if Taeja doesn't know, he is preparing for that eventuality.
Absolutely, and still nothing from Taeja. Maybe Taeja's... I guarantee you Taeja has no idea who Elfi is, or at least knows his style, or recent style, to be more precise. So he still hasn't landed a scan or anything down. He's just taken full map control. The first Colossus now is out, the second one on production, and Taeja is working off double tech labs in his main base, so he's actually going to be pretty Marauder heavy, which is overall pretty good against what Elfi's going to be doing here. Yeah. But now he's going to switch up with the medivacs and start producing them. Still no scout from Taeja, still doesn't know anything, just working around, looking for any pylons, expecting to see anything hidden there, and the first 2 medivacs are out. But as long as he knows and starts to build Vikings after the second or first and second medivac, he should be okay. But if he doesn't, then he could actually lose the game without knowing the Colossus are coming.
Yeah, that would be unfortunate. There's the salvage right there. He knows he wants to start on the offensive. Put more barracks behind that just to make sure that his reinforcements come in a bit faster. Can't spend his money quite quickly enough. He's also going to make his way through this rock in the center. Oh, and now the Colossus has been revealed. And that's actually a lot of force field spent to only kill 3 units. He even lost something as well. So I'm not so keen on this. This Colossus is out in the middle of nowhere, really, with no support.
Well, he did scan the main base, saw everything now. He actually didn't see the additional gateways, but he saw everything else. And now Elfi, a forward pylon, factory scouts the forward pylon here. 2 Vikings are being made, and Taeja has 2 medivacs full of units. And what he could do is drop the main base, knowing that this push is coming, but if he doesn't realize that they're full, what is he doing? He definitely knows.
You know what? Sentries right there. And those medivacs, I thought he's going to drop right into the center. Really nice move right there, but it's cleaned up. He does lose a 1 Colossus. It's nicely done by Taeja. Does Elfi manage to hold it? Yes, he does.
Oh, that's a pretty good hold there from Elfi, but loses both of the Colossus, and a humongous risk taken there by Taeja to do that. He has no army. Total biscuit. He has like 2 Marines.
Taeja lost more. Taeja lost way more. He's got 5 Marines, 3 Marauders. He went in there to just drop on top of the Colossus to try and get rid of them. He did clean them up eventually, but it didn't seem to work out, and that's given Elfi, I suppose, the edge that he really needs. He's continuing to build the Colossus for the moment, and he's even going to pick off that factory by the looks of it, because, hey, you might as well just get rid of it, and that will delay, say, additional starports or anything from coming down, since I believe that was his only factory. 3rd base coming to the east, and this is the kind of time where Elfi's got to start doing damage here, because he's playing passively, he's playing defensively. If he doesn't take his 3rd, Taeja's going to get a big economic lead.
Absolutely, and I just have to stress how beautiful that move really was from Taeja. I thought he was going to pick up and drop in the main base or something, but he realized how difficult that push would have been. He only had 2 Vikings, and then if he didn't clean up both Colossus, that was the problem there. That's where he could have lost everything. But sniping both of them, absolutely fantastic maneuver there, which forces the game to go into the later stages. And a double forge has been thrown down, and a lot of teching up happened now, but Taeja's actually in a very similar position last game, but this time has a 3rd base, which means he's going to be a lot more proactive around the map. He's going to have a lot more units, and overall looking really strong.
Yeah, Elfi got slightly supply blocks. It's not a massive deal because the pylons were already being built. A very large potential drop here from Taeja, always going to use the same strategy as before. He's got Viking escorts going along with these. It's going to be difficult to stop that from actually landing. Could go right for the main. There are units ready to intercept, but I don't know if there's quite enough. He's also going to hit the third at the same time.
Oh, he's going to get a cancellation on the third base. The pylon goes down. Elfi has a naked third Nexus.
He's got to cancel this.
And a drop in the main as well.
He's got to cancel this. And we'll see if he's able to do it. Well, he's not going to be able to save it, surely. Oh, it's so very close. It didn't cancel.
Oh, he doesn't cancel. He does have 1,000 minerals banked up, but still, it's a lot of money he just threw away. And Taeja looking to drop in the main base. And Elfi falling victim to the 1A syndrome has to be so careful because his units are all on 1A, and every time we saw that in the previous game as well, where he'd walk out and just leave his base undefended once again. This time has left units there and really does need to get them out that control group, and he is expanding once again, but Taeja is looking so fierce. He's got a third base up and running, adding on extra production. He has double engineering bays as well. It's looking a lot more difficult for Elfi this game.
Yeah, Taeja's looking really solid this time, and this is really awkward once you get the third base here because Terran can easily harass 2 targets at once and completely stretch you apart.
Oh,
this is going to be another cancel. There's just no way. And cancel it. He loses another 400 minerals.
Just the slowness of Elfi really showing right now. He's always been known as a slow player.
Yeah.
In game 2, it was really slow and accurate with his control, with his force fields. A lot slower paced game. But Taeja forcing him to play faster, and Elfi crumbling a little bit here. And the drop still just being a threat that does or has been seen by the observer. But Taeja's at 2-2 very shortly. He has +1 Vikings coming as well. And Elfi is producing 2-2, but he doesn't have that advantage which Protoss would like to have at this stage of the game with those upgrades.
Yeah, Taeja with a big army in the center, very stompy, and +2 already available for him, +2 armor about to finish. That might be his timing here as he approaches once again to attack. Taeja also has this drop available to go into the main. That splits the forces up. Elfi is not ready for yet another strike, I think, on this location. If he gets good Colossus positioning, absolutely, he can clean this up.
Oh,
but he
Vikings
doesn't have any force fields available there.
Oh, Vikings are in an amazing position right now.
They really are.
This is so difficult for Elfi. He can't lose anything here.
Yeah, he's got to be so careful. His shields go down already. A defensive storm put in place. He does have quite a few storms available. He might be able to land them on the Vikings. And Elfi's positioning now a bit better. The Vikings come around the side because, like, hey, it's worth it to try and take that Colossus down. 1 Colossus does fall and trade for 1 Viking. Nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all, really. He does lose a bit of damage on the other Vikings, so they will fall down faster, which overall makes the Colossus stronger. And we do have 2-2 near completion now for Elfi, and we should be seeing 3-3 being constructed any second now from Taeja, who throws down even more barracks. He has a good ghost count currently at 6. He's going to be EMPing, and the Viking count is a little bit low. It's at 6 and could be a little bit higher. But overall, his strength, his upgrades are so good here.
Here it goes. What's the positioning like for Elfi? The storm lands right on top of the Vikings. It takes 1 out quite nicely. And EMP takes a good number of shields out there. EMP nicely on top of the High Templar. Very, very good right here for Taeja. Elfi's going to be in a lot of trouble at this point. The Colossus have got to live here. Can he kill the last Viking? 2 more come in to reinforce it. A big storm to the right flank, but I think that third is going to go down again.
Yeah, it's going to go down again. And 4 command centers, pretty normal in the center of the map here from Taeja. Just going to really work on the mules. And 3-3 upgrades now. He has such a strong army. As you said, Elfi down to 2 bases. Won't be able to keep up that income, which is currently dropped down to 1,000. He was at 1,700, 800.
The standard 8 command center build coming in right here from Taeja.
Oh man, I think this guy smells a bit of victory.
I think that's very, very true indeed. And those all become orbitals. You can just get rid of his SCVs.
Yeah, he really could. And
Elfi's going for a push, but he's going up against a fairly stompy force. Funnily enough, it's not that good. It's not as good as you might think, but he needs really good position. He eats the EMP there on the Zealots, not on his caster units, which is very good here. And funnily enough, Taeja's army is only at 108, but his production facilities are... Let's have a look at how many barracks he actually has. He's got 5 there. He is actually on 10 racks right now, and his economies are kind of about to explode. Are these all? Yeah, they're all orbital commands, most of them anyway, so he's going to just replace all of his SCVs and get a larger army.
Yeah, he's like instead of 10 more command centers, he could have thrown down 10 more barracks, really, and kind of closed
It
the
is a
deal,
bit showboaty, isn't it? But I think he feels that he's ahead of Elfi, but don't mess with him. Seriously, do not mess with him.
And I think as 3-3 finishes up in the next 30 seconds here for Taeja, he'll be pushing out, looking for a killing blow, as he's slowing the Protoss down, which is what Terran has to achieve in this matchup, is just to harass, slow down my opponent, go for a killing blow, usually revolving around upgrade timings when they do finish. So when 3-3 finishes, I don't expect him to sit on mules all day long and give Elfi the opportunity to crawl back and take a, efficient 3-3 fight of his own. So Taeja now, as 3-3 finishes up, is going to start walking towards any location he sees fit, possibly here in a nice open area, because he doesn't need to concentrate too much on that.
Definitely, he doesn't want to eat a ton of storms. There are a lot of storms available as well. A couple of zealots picked off right there. No big EMPs going on as of yet. Good feedback coming in from Elfi as well. Storms going down all over the place. EMPs coming in as well. Taeja's army is whittling just a little bit here, and that wasn't a bad engagement for Elfi, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, he was on the ramp, so he's always clumped up, and storms, he had a lot of storms. He did waste a lot of high Templar energy there, so he doesn't have the same amount of storms, but he still has a good ghost count. And Elfi now just going to sit in the middle of the map, take this new base, and try to savor this game.
He's almost back to capped supply again. And I just feel that this little showboaty effort right here from Taeja was pretty dumb, because he can't spend all that money. He's mining these bases out really rapidly, and he can't spend it anywhere near quick enough.
But the problem is Taeja's army is so strong because of, Elfi being kept away from that base. It's only at 2-2, about to have +3 armor, but Taeja is so strong with his army. He's got so many Vikings at +2 as well. But it's still going to come down to the engagement.
Yeah, absolutely.
If Taeja screws up in the engagement, which he's banking on not doing, by the way, then he's going to be able to clean up the game, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's funny because Taeja could have just built a lot more production. Elfi's got quite a lot of gateways, and Taeja is now adding on more barracks. So everything is really fine. It's nice to bank things up at this stage and then do that. He's adding a nuke into play, which would be good, actually. That's a pretty good option. It's always nice. He's going to add 2 more, in fact, because he's building 2 more Ghost Academies here, +3 air weapons coming in. And Elfi has a maxed out army and is going to try to look to do damage here. Cloaked Ghosts right there, snipes going off and picking off a number of those high Templar. And that's the one nice thing about Snipe at the moment. Plus Psionic does a lot of damage. And Elfi wasn't really able to deal with that. Quick cleanup, he grabs 2 ghosts and might be able to grab another one there, but picking off the High Templar is very smart. It's 12 ghosts versus 6 High Templar right now.
Elfi facepalms is like, I don't have an observer. And Cloak Ghosts are going to be pretty deadly. Good EMPs going down. 2 snipes needed to kill these High Templar.
Yeah, and he's in a good engagement. I suppose we're about to find out. Those storms are devastating, doing a lot of damage to Taeja. And Taeja actually now in full retreat. The storm's absolutely fantastic. I have a feeling there'll be a lot of reinforcements to back this up, but those storms were really good, and Taeja just sat there and ate them.
I know, like I said, he was banking on a good engagement, which he didn't have, and all of a sudden Elfi's like, don't you take the mick out of me, and now he's pushing forward with a very strong army, and because of all these command centers, there's not that many barracks to reinforce from.
No, there aren't. There's so many command centers. What are you going to do with that money if you can't spend it? His macro's actually gone to hell, and these command centers getting picked off very, very rapidly. Another force from Taeja. Elfi needs to not throw this away. He's actually got a chance to get back into this right now. This is his one moment to pull this off. If he can do it, it will be a fantastic turnaround. He's going to go and take this base out, but the risk is his army gets trapped, and if Taeja gets a good engagement here, then it's perhaps lights out for Elfi. Got to be careful. Loses 1 Colossus, needs to turn around immediately, get those Archons at the front right now. Does he have any storms? He does not. It's all Archons. Will that be enough? His charge lookout has gone devastatingly low. That could be very dangerous. Needs to get in closer. Elfi's army is melting right now. Taeja gets a great engagement.
He does sort of escape, but the economy is just too strong for Taeja. He comes in with reinforcements and picks up the army of Elfi. And Elfi have been building that army for so long off minimal bases that when the overall fight happened, he didn't have the money to reinforce, which we see so often in Terran versus Protoss.
Can he stop this? He needs to get good AoE. He needs to get good storms down just to at least hold this up. The storm is a good one. It lands and does plenty of damage. He's got another one available to him. He keeps the Colossus alive. The storm used to do damage to the Vikings. He needs to shoot those Vikings down, bring the Stalkers into play to keep that Colossus alive, and he does do so. Nicely played there by Elfi. He stays alive again. He's on 3 bases. He's taken a 4th. Taeja's looking to deny it, though.
He is indeed, and he does sprint a few Marines. They won't be able to pull that down, I don't think. Stoker should be able to get there in time. Even with +3, the shields will be okay. And it looks like Taeja going for the
going for both, exactly. Taeja's army now is much, much larger than Elfi's. Unfortunately, losing that big army has crippled him. And it looks like Elfi is going to, after an incredibly hard-fought game, will fall here, taking a lot of firepower on that. We'd need to see some really amazing storms. And Taeja moving his army around nicely. Those Templar moving directly into the center. There's the